Hey everybody, if you're wondering, okay, why you are suffering or struggling with anxiety every day, but maybe someone in your family circle have lived the same experiences that you've lived, but they are not anxious at all. You must understand that every single person on earth is completely unique. And what is happening is they have given a different meaning to their experience. And you might think to yourself, well, I'm not aware that I've given any meanings to my experience, which you wouldn't, because they're all on an unconscious level. So when you are small, when you're a child, you may have been told off by the teacher, okay? And depending on how you are as a person or as a child is how you will react. So in our family circle, we all play a different role. We have the rebellious one. We have sometimes the person that's sick. We have sometimes the person that plays the role of carer, the quiet one. Everybody plays a different role in their family circle, almost in a way to be indispensable. So it goes back to tribal times when we lived in tribes, okay? So in a way, your primitive brain is at the helm. So you're trying to make yourself indispensable to your family. But sometimes no matter what you do, that doesn't work. So you may be pushed aside, ignored, told to be quiet, lots of different things. Doesn't always have to be majorly traumatic, but has led you to believe the things you believe about yourself. Whilst your sister or brother could be in a completely different situation. Maybe they were the favourite and you were second or third. So when you grow up, you're always going to think, because that's your belief system, that you're not quite good enough. You're always going to be second best. Can you kind of see where I'm going with this? So when you have anxiety, okay, the first thing I want you to do is acknowledge that you actually have anxiety and to seek help. So for people out there who don't know who I am an anxiety therapist. Okay, I'm a rapid transformational therapist, and you can talk to me about any issue that is bothering you on a free call, which you can book through my Calendly link. On my Facebook header, you'll see it says book a call. Okay, so that's the first thing. So let's get back to the reasons why you possibly have anxiety. So you need to acknowledge that you have anxiety. Now, most probably, over a longer period of time, you have failed to acknowledge your feelings, because when you're very small, you don't, although you have no logic, you only have feelings, but very often you don't understand what it is that you're feeling. You know, you might feel scared, you might feel upset, and often people say to me they feel angry. That's the first feelings they tell me about. So when I dig deeper, probing into their adult mind, they're more able with their vocabulary to explain the deeper sense of what they felt. So when you're a child, you have only feelings. So if it's something traumatic or something that really hurt you, you quite often push it to one side, or your mind will help you to forget it, because your mind's job is to take you away from that what hurts you towards things that make you feel better. And that's quite often what's happened. And then you're going through your life and something happens and it's been triggered. Now, really, anxiety is just a way, your body's response system of saying you are in extreme danger. But something may have happened, may have triggered something deep rooted in you. So your subconscious picks it up as a possible threat. And if you are under threat, that means you're in danger. And that's why the anxiety comes about, why your heart starts to beat, why you get that lump in your throat or the heavy chest. You see clearer, you hear more. It makes all your senses alive. Okay, and then, so this is what's happened. Some people just have this on a rare occasion if they're faced with some situation that they're really not expecting. Other people, we start to use it, not deliberately, I might add, as a habit. Okay, so it's no more than a habit of biting your nails, twisting your hair, or whatever your habit is. Now, I don't want to go down the road of OCD, like the compulsive behaviour, but that's when habits become compulsive because they are there trying to make us feel that we are in control and we are safe. So if you think of OCD, you think of panic attacks and you think of anxiety, they all sit in the same sort of bubble, if you get my point. So anxiety makes us feel out of control when actually the very thing we're trying to achieve is control. Okay, so it's all about habits. Now, what happens to us is what happens or what tends to be expected tends to be realised. I know that sounds a bit weird. So what we often expect tends to be right, because that's what we expect. Because what you have to understand, you have programmed yourself. So I talk to people who say, oh my God, oh, the worst thing always happens to me. No matter what I try and do, everything always goes wrong. That's a belief system that is running you, programming you in your mind, okay? If you are taught that the world is not safe and everybody in it are basically out to get you, that is what you will believe, because that's what you've been taught. So you've got to think about what you believe, what you've been taught and what you've lived, okay? And then all of a sudden you're an adult in this adult world and you're still reacting to situations as if you are 8, 5, 6, whatever age, okay, when these things happen to you. So the best thing you can do most of the time, right, if you're overthinking everything, so overthinking comes from trying to think too much. Do you see where I'm going? So if you think too much, you're overthinking, and that's not helping you because you're trying to stop thinking. It's if you're stressed out, okay, the more you stress, or the more you try to stop your stress, the more stressed you become. It has like an adverse effect. But if you think of anxiety as a behaviour that you have created or allowed into your life, so what we have to do is we have to change that habit. So just think about it like this. Say you've got to do something that you're really unsure of. So it's something you've never done before. Obviously, you're not going to know how it's going to turn out because you've never done it before. Okay, so that's one thing. Then you may be in a situation where you're going to do something that you've done before, but it didn't work out. That doesn't mean it's not going to work out this time. Okay, and the first situation, that doesn't mean that you're not going to have a good time or it's not going to work out just because you've never done it before. However, people with anxiety tend to use divergent tactics. So instead of doing something that they've done before or trying something new, they don't do it. So they're missing out on so much stuff in their life, which could be you. So what I'm trying to say to you is, when you feel anxious, okay, so first of all you think, oh, I've got to do that and I'm not sure. So that makes you feel a little bit scared. Then you start to let it go over and over in your mind, and then it just gets bigger. And before you know it, you've got anxiety. And then sometimes when you have no choice but to do it, your mind says, well, you don't really want to do that. Let's make you have a panic attack. Then you have a panic attack and you're even more out of control. So it's all about changing the habits. So you've got the habit of thought, which causes a feeling and then an action. So that's where I'm trying to intervene. You have to start to try to teach yourself, okay, to act differently when you feel in these situations. So that's why I talk to you about small steps. Obviously, if you want to talk to me about this more in depth, then we can. I can't put it all on a video because we'd be going on forever and ever. So I hope that you understand in a sense what I'm talking about. Now, everybody's anxiety is completely different, all right? So I could be talking to 100 people out there and they've all got different forms of anxiety. So yes, I do talk about tools and techniques and breathing, breathing and things that you can do to help you in the moment, all right? And that does work for some people, often if it's just physical. But a lot of the time it's gone beyond physical, if you get my point, and it's more mental and emotional. Now, what happens as you let anxiety take over your life more and more and more, I'm talking years, you can become detached, okay, or disassociate from what you actually feel. So the main thing I want you to understand, just because you didn't understand what you felt when you were a child, it doesn't mean you don't understand what you feel now. So if you feel angry, that is okay. If you feel upset, that is okay. Negative feelings are just as helpful sometimes as positive feelings, because they make you acknowledge the reality of the situation. Okay, I hope this makes sense, and I really want you to get to grips with this. So it'd be really amazing if you are struggling with anxiety to book a call with me, so I can show you that how it's playing a role in your life, because what it's doing, it is just hiding up something underneath. You could have abandonment issues, you could have rejection issues, you could have trust issues, blame, shame, guilt going on. And what it does, because you can't acknowledge the feeling, it creates this process or this response system where it thinks it's helping you when actually it isn't. Okay, hope this makes sense. So if you do want to book that call with me, yeah, on my Facebook header it says book a call, so just hit that button and you can book a call to speak to me. Okay, thank you for listening, and yeah, have an amazing day. Thank you.